What happened in the super heavyweight division of the recent Asian Arm Wrestling Championship in Tashkent, Uzbekistan was a little bit disappointing to watch, because if I remember correctly, I heard Artyom Morozov say on the Strengthcast podcast that the secret to his immense strength gain is a lot of juice. So why was he competing or allowed to compete at the recent Asian Championship, which is supposed to be a drug-free event? I know this topic is not going to be comfortable for everyone to discuss, so I'll keep it towards the end of this video. You can skip it if you want. Before that, I saw some concerns being raised on the Reddit platform about Devon potentially coaching Brian Shaw. Some people were saying he's probably the worst coach for Brian Shaw, and some usually say that Devon is the best. I kind of agree with the first one. I think Devon is going to be a terrible coach for Brian Shaw, but the good thing is that Devon clarified in one of his previous videos that this is rarely going to be any coaching situation between these two. They will rarely get any time to arm wrestle or to teach others some things about strength and arm wrestling to exchange that knowledge. The meeting is not going to be extended for many days. This is just a casual meeting. I have said in one of the previous videos, and I will repeat it once again, Brian Shaw does not need any coach as of now. Just let anyone tell him that he needs to do some rising exercises, some cupping, some pronation, and some supination. And then that's it. Let him get strong by himself. And good thing is that Devon also mentioned the same thing. He's not going to teach Brian Shaw about strength. He's going to just let him know that these are the movements that you need to get strong in, and that's what you need to do. So figure it out yourself. You already know how to get strong. So that is a cool part. Alexey Voevoda was seen arm wrestling with Aibazov in a short video on his channel few weeks ago. Now why is this interesting? Because Aibazov won the AMC 105 kg class, and people naturally started talking about this video because it resurfaced the internet. And I'll say that yes, Voevoda is looking slightly better in this poll, because I'll say this video is on Voevoda's channel. That's the reason. But if you look at it carefully, it looks like Aibazov is slightly stronger than Voevoda even in this poll. So I'll say Voevoda can probably be top 10 at 105 kilos, but he's no better than that. And that's also one of the reasons why I believe that he is probably not going to return to the table, because he was the champion of arm wrestling, absolute category, around 2003, 2004 to 2006, 7, 8, whatever. And since then, after that, he won the Olympics as well, Winter Olympics. So the guy is used to of being in the champion status, and right now he isn't the champion anymore, and he won't be the champion in any time in the future, and that can be a really detrimental thing for your mindset, and that can prevent you from competing. I'll still be waiting for Voevoda to get back to the table, as he has said he would by the end of this year or maybe early part next year, but to me it's really doubtful. And even if he does, if he doesn't win that match, which I don't want, he will for sure not return after that. We will see the Tim Bresnan treatment once again. So another footage, or a couple of footages that surfaced the internet after the AMC tournament, were Schoolboy versus Yurchenko and Denis Cyplenkov versus Yurchenko. Why are these footages important? Because Yurchenko top rolled Zaur Pezulayev's wrist a couple of times to win the super heavyweight division. And surprisingly, about 6-7 months ago, Schoolboy defeated Yurchenko. So how good is this Schoolboy, and how good does it make look Leonidas Arcona? That is surprising. I know in the absence of Dmitry Silayev, Farid Osmanli, Vitaly Laletin, and some other big names, the AMC tournament was not that difficult to win, but still, it cannot be the easiest thing that Yurchenko has done in his arm wrestling career. It still takes some strength, it still takes some guts to win that tournament. So this, in my mind, makes Schoolboy look really good. And it wasn't a practice pull situation. It was a legit tournament where Schoolboy beat him. And Denis Cyplenkov was also containing Yurchenko pretty easily. I'll say that he did not have the option to flash pin him, but holding Yurchenko was not a problem at all for Denis Cyplenkov. So that kind of shows that with the super matches, yes, for sure, the level of AMC is going to deteriorate, especially the tournaments, because even in the 105 kg division, the winner Aibazov that we talked about, well, Ibrahim Sagov was not there. If he was there, then maybe he wouldn't have won, and then maybe we wouldn't have been discussing the Schoolboy versus the Voevoda versus Aibazov footage. Ermes Gasparini was interviewed by Engin Terzi, and looks like he is forgetting about the left arm competition for good. Alijan Muratov really broke his confidence, and the reason for that, as agreed by Ermes and Engin himself, was that yes, it was the left arm of Ermes. It is not supposed to be as strong as his right, but still it's attached to the same human being. The human being that does not like to lose, and he lost. Not only he lost, but he got dominated by Alijan. So to get into that losing mindset, it is much better than that to just avoid the left arm competition as per Ermes Gasparini. As of now, Ermes believes that Levan or Vitaly could be number 1. He was slightly favoring Levan, and Alijan Muratov is for sure in the top 3. That's how highly he ranks him. So there were some questions by Krasimir Kostadinov when he told Engin that Ermes lost to Devon because of his lack of pronation. Ermes clarified that he lost because of lack of cupping, and since then he has been working a lot on that and also the rising movement. Before the Devon match, he was only lifting 37 kilos on the rise. After that, he was lifting 55 kilos during the Vitaly match, and right now he's up to 57 kilos. And then Ermes mentioned the Vitaly Lalatin match. He said, "I think it's almost impossible to hook him for everyone. To go in the straps, I almost broke my finger with him. I felt my finger crushed really." Ermes said that you have to apply a lot of back pressure just to slip against Vitaly. If you try to go sideways to get the slip, he will break your finger for sure. That's how strong his grip is. Then they discussed the Jerry versus Kordecha match as well. Ermes said that after my match, people underestimate Jerry too much. Engin also said that even Levan Seginashvili mentioned that if he makes some kind of mistake against Jerry and if he goes in a defensive top roll, he's going to be in some big trouble. After that, Engin mentioned that from now on, every top 2 place finishers in the European and Asian championships are going to qualify for East versus West. Usually, Engin is very strict about the qualifications, but right now, I think he's making it a bit too easy. Not saying that placing second at Asian or Europeans is easy, but still the level is far off from what we are used to of seeing at East versus West. I think it would have been better if he decided to just let the Asian and European champion, the gold medalist, qualify and top 2 place finishers at the Worlds qualify. That in my mind would have made more sense, but Engin knows more than me for sure. And now let's talk about the Asian Arm Wrestling Championships 2024. While I talk about the event, what I liked about it, what I disliked about it, you'll keep on seeing the results of every single weight category from the senior men and women's divisions, both left and right arm, as you're already seeing right now. So first of all, Kazakhstan dominated as they always do. First, second, third, every single person was from Kazakhstan. Well, obviously there were some exceptions, but there were all Kazakhstan flags. That's all I saw. That's how dominant these guys really were. And one more thing that I noticed, in almost every single match, the guy on the left side of the table who doesn't have the buckle won. Like almost always. But the reason for that was not the buckle. I'll let you know the reason for that. The reason actually was that the guy who wins every single match in the prelims, he's the guy who's standing on the left side of the screen. So he's already dominant. He has already proven himself to be better than everyone else. That's why he's winning the matches. Other than that, I will say that I really disliked the fact that many of the Kazakhstan guys were just not there to compete. They were just, I don't know what they were trying to show off when they let their countrymen win one round and then they defeat him. I know it's a part of a strategy if you lose in the initial rounds and then you dominate everyone else to give your countrymen a better chance to finish on the podium, like Artyom Morozov did. He intentionally lost, destroyed everyone, let his countrymen go to the finals, and then he beat him in the finals. But there were some guys when once you know that you have to defeat your opponent twice, your opponent is laying down to you in the first round and then beating you in the second round. So the result is not changing. You're not winning any extra money after that. That was absolutely ridiculous and unwanted in my opinion. The sport of arm wrestling, especially at this amateur level, absolutely needs to have a rule against intentional laying down. I know it is going to be difficult to judge, but at least the arm wrestlers are going to act properly. They will try to act in a better way, try to actually apply maybe 90% power instead of zero, what we are seeing right here. That in my mind is absolutely pathetic and terrible. Almost all of the Kazakhstan guys were doing that. Rarely any of the finals we saw were actual competition. Everyone was laying down to the other guy. So to me, it did not make sense. I really did not enjoy this event at all. And speaking of Artyom Morozov, how the hell was he allowed, after admitting to steroid usage, to compete in a supposedly drug-free event? This should not happen at all. I am a huge Artyom Morozov fan. I talk with him often on Instagram, so there's no beef against him. I hope you understand that part. But please, someone explain to me, what were the drug testing guys? I think they are supposed to be there. What were they doing? Did they test Morozov? Did they test anyone there? Where are the names of the guys who got tested? These things should be more strict. If I'm missing something that you know, please mention in the comments, like the video and subscribe.